or start the music and get going. All right. Well, welcome everyone and happy first, or I guess technically this is the second day of the semester. So for those who I haven't seen in a while, Happy New Year. I'm so excited all of you are here today. For those of you who may be joining later during the recording, my name is Amanda. And just a gentle reminder that anything that we do today is definitely not required. Everything that I say is just a suggestion. So if something just doesn't feel right in the body, or just you feel tense, or just something doesn't feel right, just easing off, or even coming into a child's pose, or just anything that makes the body feel less tense. We don't want any sharp pains. That never feels good. So today we're going to start in a nice seated position. You can have your legs crossed or crisscross applesauce. If that doesn't feel good on the knees or the hips, you can always sit on a pillow to elevate you, or even just having your legs out straight. Whatever feels good in this moment, just listening to your body. But then when you find that spot, just grounding your sit bones into the earth. And then maybe just swaying a little side to side. Begin to gently close the eyes, or let the eyes or the gaze be nice and heavy on the floor. But if it does feel good, I encourage you to close your eyes. It's a nice way to shut out the external stimulation that we have going on. Begin to turn our focus inward. As we gently maybe sway side to side, getting any little bits of anxious energy out of us. Slowly coming into a bit of more stillness. Lengthening up the spine all the way to the crown of the head. On a big breath in, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, and then on an exhale, releasing the shoulders, looping them down the spine. Just gently resting the fingertips on top of the knees or the thighs. Just bringing awareness to the breath. Noticing the inhales, how they expand the body. And just noticing the exhales, how it releases and softens the body a bit more. As you come into a bit of a more relaxation, I'd like to read you a quote to start off the year. It's by Albert Einstein, and he said that out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Taking a moment to let that sink in. Maybe it resonates with you today, and maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. But if it does feel good right now, just sending an intention in for your practice. It can be a positive affirmation. Or maybe it's releasing something that no longer serves or benefits you. No overthinking. All intentions are welcome. And just taking a big, deep breath in through the nose. Maybe find a longer, deeper exhale. Keeping the eyes closed or the gaze nice and heavy. Take the chin towards the chest. Now gently begin to roll the head towards the right. And towards the back. Left ear comes to the left shoulder. And the chin meets the chest again. And we'll slowly reverse it, nice and easy. Just Getting any kinks or tension out of the neck. And the chin will meet the chest once more. And begin to slowly blink the eyes open, nice and easy. And on an inhale, we'll take the gaze all the way up to the center. Maybe a nice little smile. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift the arms, sweep them overhead. Growing nice and tall, gaze can look in between the fingertips. And then exhale, just releasing all the way down to the floor. A couple more times. Inhale, gathering up all that energy. And then exhale, releasing, softening a bit more. Once more, inhale, arms up. And exhale, the hands all the way back down. So we're just gonna inch those right fingertips off to the right, just a couple of inches. And then we'll inhale that left arm all the way up. Fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. And then see if maybe you can bend that right elbow just a bit, nothing too intense. And then maybe that top arm arcs over the head just a bit more. Feeling that nice long stretch all the way from the side body, all the way to the fingertips. Taking a nice big breath in. Nice exhale out. And we'll inhale, take both arms all the way up. Gaze lifts in between the thumbs. And then exhale, we'll plant the left fingertips down by our side. Inhale that top arm all the way up, reaching for the sky. And then exhale, maybe a little bend in that left elbow. And see if you can arc and lean that right arm overhead. So breathing into the side body. We'll take one more breath here. On the breath out, we're going to take that top arm and begin to sweep it down and then across the floor. And your range of motion doesn't have to be all the way out here. It can just be a few inches in front of you, but we'll just sweep it gently in front. And then take that left arm all the way up, maybe a little back bend at the top, looking over that left shoulder. And again, we'll just flow through this a few more times. Maybe if it feels good, just closing the eyes. Focusing your energy, your breath, to each movement in the body. Just moving very gently, very slow, gently warming up the body. No need to make any faster quick movements. Telling yourself it's okay to slow down, kind of enjoy the flowers. So we'll just do this a couple more times. Again, no rush. Wherever you are is where you are, and you don't have to be in any particular pose, particular side. Wherever you are, we'll lean to whatever side, and we'll inhale both arms all the way up. Exhale, begin to spin around to the right. Left hand goes on top of the right knee, and then the right fingertips are right behind your tailbone. We'll inhale, lift the spine nice and tall, and then exhale, begin to twist a little more to the right. And the head and neck are the last things to spin around. Big breath in, and bigger breath out. We'll inhale the arms all the way up, reaching nice and tall. And then exhale, we'll begin to spin over to the left side. Inhale, begin to lengthen up the spine. And then exhale, just spinning around just a bit more, nothing too intense. Full breath in. Full breath out. At the bottom of the exhale, we'll slowly just come all the way back to center. So we're just going to take our hands. You can either take the fingertips right behind you, or if you have the space, you can clasp your hands together. And then inhale, pull the chest towards the sky. Knuckles come down the tailbone towards the earth, or fingertips planting into the ground. Inhale, opening up the chest. And then exhale, releasing. And then release the hands all the way to the front. So find your range of motion here. Maybe the fingertips are here. You can even put them on blocks if that feels better. Sway a little side to side, gently opening up that low back, unlocking it a bit more, gently opening up the hips. And then if you have room, maybe walking out the fingertips just a bit more. And if it feels good, you can always crawl and walk your fingertips to one side, see what's going on one side of the body, and then maybe walking it to the other side. Just seeing what's going on, how your body's feeling right now. And then we'll come back towards the middle and just breathing. A couple big breaths here. Let the head and neck be nice and soft, shoulders soft, no tensing. We'll begin to slowly walk the hands back on an inhale. You can either gently roll over the knees or you can come to a side seat, and then we'll all meet up into a nice tabletop. Shoulders right over the wrist and then hips right over the knees. Fingertips spread nice and wide. And once you find that tabletop, maybe just rocking a little forward and back, maybe left to right, warming up the wrist a bit. Engaging the core. And then gaze is looking straight down. You want that neck right in line with the spine. And again, we'll find a bit of stillness here. And on your next breath in, we'll lower the belly and then open up the chest. The gaze looks up. Exhale, begin to round the upper back, belly to spine, chin to chest. A couple more times. Inhale, pulling the heart forward, tailbone points up. And then exhale, reversing it, doming the upper back, tucking the belly towards the spine. And last time, inhale for cow pose. And then on an exhale, coming all the way into a cow pose, pressing down and up from the earth. And then coming and find that nice neutral spine. So again, checking in with the hands, making sure you're pressing down through all 10 knuckles. We'll begin to engage the core a bit more. Tuck the toes under, and then just lift and hover the knees just an inch. We'll breathe here for one breath in, one breath out. On your next inhale, we'll begin to lift the hips all the way up and back, keeping the knees bent. Elongating the spine first. See if you can get your ears in line with your biceps. Gaze is looking in between the feet or the calves. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift up onto the toes. And then exhale, begin to straighten one leg and bend the other. And then inhale back up onto the toes and then switching. So just pedaling out the feet nice and easy. Opening up the backs of the legs. And just stretching out the calves and the hamstrings a bit more. So again, at any time, if you just need to take a breather, you can always come down into child's pose. No big deal. Just listening to your body. And you can even stay on one side for a breath or two, just really sending that breath into the back of the leg. The more you relax, the more your body will open up without resistance. And then when you're ready, we'll straighten out both legs as much as possible. But you can always place a nice generous bend in the knees if you need to. We'll take one breath here. On the breath out, begin to gaze towards the top of the mat, and we'll slowly walk ourselves crawling all the way to the top of the mat. Once you make your way there, exhale, releasing down. If it feels good, grabbing onto opposite elbow, swaying side to side.
Just letting the head and neck release, being nice and heavy. All that tension in the shoulders, the top half of the body, just letting gravity weigh it down, releasing the tension. And when you're ready, we'll take the fingertips down to the ground. And on an inhale, begin to slowly roll up one notch at a time. Once make your way up, looping the shoulders down the spine. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Gaze looks in between the thumbs. Exhale, hands come all the way down, heart center. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. Inhale, little bend in the knees. We'll sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Swan dive down with control. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on top of the thighs or you can in the shins. And then exhale, forward fold. A couple more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Looping the shoulders down the spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Last time. Inhale, halfway lift. Gaze is still looking straight down. And then exhale, take the hands down to the mat. We'll step back into plank pose. So we'll stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees down and begin to bend the elbows, grazing the ribcage all the way down to the belly. And we'll take the tops of the feet onto the mat. Taking those elbows and then hugging them in towards the midline. Inhale, pull the chest up just an inch or two for baby cobra. And then exhale down. Inhale, maybe a little higher this time. And then exhale down. Last time, inhale maybe to a full cobra. And then exhale down with control. We'll tuck the toes under. Knees can stay lifted or up. But we'll press ourselves up into a plank pose. And then take the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. One breath in. One breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, begin to slowly walk yourselves all the way back up again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bowing, forward fold. Inhale, begin to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Rooting the feet into the floor. And then inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Calm breath in. Calm breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down and step back to plank pose again. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees, bend the elbows all the way down to the belly. Inhale to your cobra, whatever that may be. If you have your room, see if you can plant the tops of the feet into the mat and then lift the hips and the thighs off the ground, upward facing dog. And then exhale, we'll all meet back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, this time maybe see if you can take a nice big step up towards the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we'll inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, hinge up hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, either step or hop back all the way to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower down halfway or all the way, your choice. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, we'll all meet back into a downward facing. And taking one cleansing breath here. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing. Palms meet at the top. And then thumbs come to the third eye. And then palms come to heart center. Standing nice and firm into the ground. Really engaging the quads. And then
And engaging the glutes a bit, engaging the core. Lifting the sternum, lifting the crown of the head. Maybe even closing the eyes. Even rock a little forward and back onto the toes, into the heels, just finding that center of gravity. And we'll just take 3 cleansing breaths here. So big inhale in. Big sigh out the mouth. Twice more. Inhale. And then exhale. Last time, big inhale. Deeper exhale. Beautiful. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the fingertips down to the ground. And we're just gonna step that right leg all the way back. And then settling into a low lunge. You can always use blocks or books if you have them. Feel a little less pressure on the hips as they settle towards the ground a bit more. And then when you're ready, lower that back knee down, flatten that back foot onto the ground. So you can stay on your blocks or fingertips on the ground if this is enough. Or maybe walk your hands up to the knees. And we're gonna stay here just for a few breaths. And if this is too much on that front hip or right quad, you can always back up just a bit instead of sinking your weight totally into that leg. So lifting the crown of the head, opening up the chest. Taking a few moments here. See if you can calm the breath just a bit more. And just take one more breath in. One more breath out. We'll take the fingertips back down to the ground or to the blocks. And we'll come into a half split. So straightening up that front leg, pointing those left toes up towards the ceiling. And then lengthening the spine nice and long. So this may be enough. You can always put a little bend in the knee if you need to, or coming onto blocks to give you just a little more room. So if this really is enough and you feel that nice juicy stretch, just stay there. If you want just a bit more of a stretch, begin to inhale very slowly, coming into a mini cow pose. When you come into that cow pose, you're gonna feel a deeper stretch in that left leg, so be really careful. And then on exhale, just rounding that upper back. You'll feel a little more reprieve on that one. But again, inhale into that cat pose, really feeling the back leg stretching out. And then exhale, rounding the back. Last time, inhale. And then exhale. We'll come back to that nice neutral half split right there. And then just walking our hands up to the front, low crescent pose. And then we'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And we're gonna spin that back foot down onto the ground. Engaging the core, we're gonna lift up all the way into warrior one. So that front knee, front toes are pointing straight forward. And then your back foot is kind of just like not at a 90-degree angle, but a little less. Hips are as square to the front of the room as possible. Arms can be upward, arms can be down, your choice. Really engaging the legs and engaging that core. Looping the shoulders down the spine just a bit more. Calm breath in, calm breath out. Inhale, we'll lift the arms all the way up. And then exhale, taking them back down to the ground, coming onto those back toes. And we'll take the left toes and meet the right into plank pose. You can go straight into downward facing dog or take your flow, your choice. And we'll move back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips come down to the ground. This time we're going to step that left foot all the way back. We're just coming into a low lunge. Letting the hips settle. If it feels good, rocking back and forth on those back toes. And then we'll gently lower that back knee, flatten that back foot. Fingertips can stay on the ground or blocks or any props in the path. Or see if you can walk yourself up onto the knee. You can always try to unbend the knee with less pressure on the hips. But as you begin to bend that front knee a bit more, you're going to feel a deeper stretch in the front of that left leg. Gaze is looking straight forward, finding your focus for what we call the drishti. Looping the shoulders down the spine. Big breath in. Big breath out. Just keeping with that nice calm breath. Opening the front of the leg just a bit more. When you're ready, we'll take the fingertips back down to the ground. We'll begin to slowly straighten up that front leg, toes pointing towards the sky. Lengthening out the spine on an inhale. Exhale, settling into the pose maybe a bit more. So again, and this is enough, just staying here, breathing. You want more of a stretch. On an inhale, we'll begin to lower the belly, open up the chest just for like a modified cow pose. And then exhale, begin to round the upper back. Again, inhale, pulling the chest forward, nice and slow, feeling that nice deep stretch in the back of the leg. And then exhale, rounding the upper back. Last time, inhale, and then exhale. Coming back to that nice neutral spine, or walk the fingertips all the way towards the front. Low crescent pose. And then tuck the toes, lift that back knee. And then we're just going to spin that back heel down towards the ground. Engage the core, pressing down through that front foot, all the way up to warrior one. So when we were on the other side, I said to square up the hips towards the front of the room. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do. So if you find it a little easier, you can always heel toe your foot more towards the right. And then your hips will have more room to actually rotate towards the front. They're just playing around with that. You can also step in your stance just a bit more, but keeping that front knee right over the right ankle or just a little behind. Arms can be up, or arms can be by your side. Engaging the core, engaging the legs, rooting down through the feet, lifting up through the sternum and the crown of the head. Just releasing any tension that might have built up. We'll inhale, lift a bit higher, and then exhale, take the hands back down to the ground, coming back onto the back toes, right toes meet the left into plank pose. And then going straight into downward facing or taking your flow, your choice. And once we make it back to our downward facing dog, we'll inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll take the hands down. And we'll take that right foot all the way back again, low lunge. This time we'll spin that back foot down and inhale all the way up, warrior one. One breath in, one breath out. On an inhale, take the hands to heart center. And on an exhale, begin to open up to the right, warrior two. So this time you want to adjust your back foot And then the toes are at a 90-degree angle this time. And really leaning into that, or bending that right or left front leg. Knees stacked right on top of the ankle or a little behind. Arms are nice and long. Being really patient with the breath. Engaging both legs. And then on our next breath in, we'll straighten up that front leg, lift all the way up, lifting the arms. Exhale, stepping back down, warrior two. Twice more, inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And exhale down to warrior two. On your next breath in, we'll tip it back, reverse our warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down to the ground. Low lunge. Left foot meets the right. And then taking your flow. Once you make it back to downward facing dog, we'll inhale, gaze towards the top. Exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing. Exhale, hinge of the hips, long dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the fingertips down. This time, we'll step that left leg all the way back, low lunge. Bending that back foot down towards the ground, engaging the core, we'll lift all the way up, warrior one. Shoulders stacked right on top of the hips. Full breath in, full breath out. Taking the hands to heart center on an inhale, and then opening up, warrior two on an exhale. Again, just like warrior one, your shoulders are stacked right on top of your hips. Arms are nice and long, energetically reaching equally towards the front and towards the back. On your next breath in, we'll straighten up that front knee, lift all the way up. Exhale down, warrior two. Twice more, inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. And then exhale down. On your next breath in, we'll tip it back, reverse warrior. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground, low lunge. Right foot meets the left. And then take your flow. So we'll stay here in downward facing dog for 3 active breaths. You can always come down to child's pose if you need to. So we've gone through our warrior one, our warrior two. So we'll go into warrior three next. So if you do need to take just a bit of a bigger breather, you can always go down into child's pose. And if you're with me, coming back into that downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, either step or hop all the way towards the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Calm breath in. Calm breath out. You're just looking down at your feet, making sure that your ankles are stacked right underneath your hips. And then we'll inhale, lift the arms, begin to bend the knees. Coming into chair pose first. So we're really firing up the glutes and the quads, firing up that core. And then maybe even sitting down just a bit more. And then maybe even see if the toes can come off the ground. Like your toes are waving at me. And we'll just stay here for another breath. So on your next breath in, we're going to begin to take the weight to our right leg. You're gonna slowly stand up, but take that left knee all the way up to your chest. So we're in an isometric hold right now. Really firing up that right glute, really engaging that left leg. Rooting down through the right foot and lifting up through the crown of the head to the fingertips. So from here, very slowly with control, we're gonna take that left leg and begin to slowly kick it back into our warrior three. So arms can be out in front, a little more trickier, or the fingertips can start reaching back. Might be a little easier, or the hands can come towards heart center. So again, just really paying attention to that left glute, really engaging it. Flexing the left foot, like you're holding up that back wall. And then just a little micro bend in the knee. You can even place a big bend in the knee, but as long as you're engaging that right quad. Gaze looking straight down. Finding the calmest breath that you can. Finding your focus. Finding your breath. I'll stay here just for 2 more rounds. You can do it. When you're ready, we'll set that left leg down. Inhale the arms all the way up, standing nice and tall. And then exhale, let's just take the hands to our hips. Maybe pedal out the feet a bit. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale the arms up. Begin to sit back into our chair pose again. Lifting up the toes. Really sitting back into the heels, sitting back into the glutes. Engaging that core. That'll really help with the low back. And then when you're ready, we'll shift the weight to our left leg. Begin to straighten it. And just taking up that right knee. So begin to take that awareness into that left foot, really grounding down. Taking that focus all the way up to the quad, engaging it. Firing up the core. And then lifting through the fingertips and the head. When you're ready, we'll slowly kick that right leg all the way back. Fingertips and reach towards the back of the room, even come towards heart center. Flexing the right toes down towards the ground. Getting a nice micro bend in that left standing leg. And then if your bottom leg is kind of shaking, that's totally okay. That means it's working for you. But if you feel any sharp pains, always backing off. Maybe not lifting the leg so high, but just easing off. You can always just come into a kickstand as well. Take a breath or two. And coming back to that focus. Take one breath in. On the breath out, we'll take that right foot, meet the left. Inhale the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hands can come onto the hips. Maybe bending the knees one at a time. Rocking back and forth on the toes. And then when you're ready, we'll just inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Just dropping the head, letting it be nice and heavy. Again, if it feels good, you can come up onto your fingertips or up onto the blocks. Pedal out the legs. Keeping the spine nice and long. And then when you're ready, we'll just step back into plank pose just for a moment. Lower the knees down. Big toes touch. Knees come as wide as comfortable. And then just sitting the hips back onto the heels. Letting the forehead, the third eye come down to the ground into child's pose. Let the inhale inflate the belly in between the legs nice and big. And then on the exhale, begin to empty it all out. Melting the shoulders down just a bit more. Just feeling the ground beneath you, and absorbing that calm energy of the earth. Just taking a few more moments for yourself. And just telling yourself something positive, telling yourself that you're doing such a wonderful job today. Just even showing up on your mat today, that is the biggest challenge. And yet here all of you are. You can stay in child's pose a bit longer if you need to. But if you're with me, slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the knees, nice and easy. And then we'll just come to a side seat. Slowly sweep the legs out in front of us. You can always reset yourself onto your mat. And just let the legs be nice and long, flexing the toes up towards the sky. And just placing the fingertips right next to your hips so you can help yourself lengthen up the spine, opening up the chest a bit more. And then we'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge up the hips, keeping that spine nice and long. Let the hands fall wherever they may. Maybe it's the top of the thighs, maybe it's the shins or the ground next to you, or maybe you can touch your toes. So the goal is not to touch the toes really, because we don't want you to just go around your back. That doesn't feel good on the neck. Just lengthening out, even if you have to bend your knees, let the belly meet the top of the thighs. Maybe closing the eyes. Just releasing in a bit more. Again, this whole entire time was for you. It's your time, but as we really slow down, taking that focus more inward, let it be present. Let it just observe the breath, feeling that energy, that prana, the life that lives within you. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale and you slowly roll all the way up. You can grab onto the backs of your legs or just use your core and we'll slowly roll down, one notch at a time, onto our backs. And then once you make your way there, begin to hug in that right knee into the chest. Maybe flex and point that right foot, rolling out the ankle. And then taking that right arm out into a half T. We'll gently begin to guide that right knee towards the left, twisting from the belly. And gaze looks over towards the right fingertips. If your knee doesn't touch the ground, no big deal. We just want our right shoulder onto the ground and just twisting from the belly as much as comfortable. Releasing any tension that might be left in the body. Taking this time just to surrender. No need to hold on to anything physically or mentally. We'll just take a couple more breaths into this twist. You can always come out sooner if you need to.
When you're ready, we'll slowly hug that knee back into the chest. And then we'll begin to lower it. And then gently and slowly taking that left knee into the chest. Flexing and pointing those left toes or ankles and rolling it out. Always want to make sure we have mobility, range of motion in our wrist and in our ankles. And then we'll just take the left arm out into a half T. When you're ready, slowly guiding that left knee down towards the right, again, twisting from the belly. So incorporating any type of twist in your day is always good. Especially this kind of restorative twist is so good for the digestive system. A nice little internal massage for your organs. Detoxing all that's going inside of you. Opening up any blocked energies. So important just to relax here as much as possible. We'll just stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. You can always come out sooner if you need to. And then we'll gently take that left knee back into the chest, giving it a nice good squeeze. If it feels good, you can even bring that right knee up into the chest and giving both shins a nice little hug into the chest. Rocking a little side to side, nice little low back massage. Sometimes it feels good to hang on to the kneecaps and then slowly circle both knees into one direction. And circling the other way. If you ever have any low back pain, like any scrunching, you can always grab onto the top of your legs. Let the low back come down to the ground and act as if your feet have sandbags on them. So they're wanting to touch the ground, but you're resisting. This is so nice to lengthen out that low back all the way to the top of the spine. And when you're ready, we'll slowly lower the feet back down to the ground. So if you want to do any other poses before we come into Shavasana, sometimes we just like to do a yogi's choice. You're like, I really have to get that shoulder stand in or bridge pose. Or just any little movements to get any lingering tension out of the body. Whatever you have to do for the next couple of moments, letting the body soften a bit more before we come into Shavasana. And since we're at home, if you don't want to lay fully on your back, you can always take a pillow, put it underneath both of your knees, give your low back some more support. You can even put a blanket over you. That's always nice to have a weight on top of the body. It makes us feel actually more safer, just more grounded in. And another great thing is if you have the space in your home, you can always come up to a wall and place both legs up against it. This is great for circulation from the feet, going down all the way into the hips. A restorative inversion. So if you would like to do that, and you have time to go and just situate yourself, letting the circulation just flow from the legs. But if you're with me, just coming down into Shavasana when you're ready. Letting the feet come as wide as comfortable, letting the hands come out to your side, palms are radiating towards the sky. And then tucking the chin in just an inch, lengthening out the back of the neck. And then taking a big breath in through the belly, in through the chest, into the throat. And then exhale it all out. Begin to relax the toes, the soles of the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the calves, the knees, and the tops of the thighs. And then letting this peaceful sensation flow all the way up through the spine, into the belly, into the chest. Holding the shoulders down into the ground. Relaxing the arms all the way down to the fingertips. Noticing any tension you may have in your jaw. And softening the space between your brows. Letting yourself become one with the earth, one with the source, and one with the self. Slowly begin to come back to the room. Slowly coming back to the body. Coming back to your natural pace of breath. Wiggling out the fingertips and the toes. Maybe gently shaking your head from the left into the right. And taking a nice big stretch like you're waking up in the morning. If it feels good, you can always roll over to your favorite side into fetal pose. Once you make your way there, taking one breath in and one breath out. Now at the bottom of the exhale, begin to slowly make your way all the way up to a comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed or heavy. And then once you make your way there, just taking the hands to heart center. Bowing your head in gratitude for taking this time for yourself and taking this time for your practice. I hope you all feel a little bit stronger, a little more brighter, and a little more at peace. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you feel more rejuvenated, more relaxed, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful rest of your week. And I hope to see all of you next week. Bye, everyone.